Today's video talks about 8 ways to protect your children from sex abuse. Of course, there are more than 8 ways, but we'll just start with this, just to give parents and guardians some things to think about. We hope you find this information useful and that you pass it along to other parents and guardians of children, because protecting our children so that we can have a brighter future is probably the best thing we can do. It's a very sad fact that sexual abuse is probably one of the worst threats to a child's development and growth that exist. And it's also a sad fact that most of the sexual abuse that is committed by people who are known to the child and the child's family. In fact, 91% are known to the child or the child's family. It could be a neighbor, a community professional, or even a family member. So it's important that parents and guardians are aware of this potential threat to their children. And this presentation is designed to help parents understand the threat and provide the best protection they can for their children. One of the most important things parents and guardians can do is to really help their children understand that they, the child, have control over who has physical access to their bodies. Many times parents do things like they encourage their children to kiss Aunt Maggie, even though the child may not really know or even like Aunt Maggie. We really shouldn't force our children to have physical contact with someone they don't want to. Because if you're doing that, you're teaching them that you control their body. You has physical access to them, rather than teaching them that they have that right. You're not always going to be around your kids. And so by teaching them that they have the authority and the autonomy to say no to circumstances and people they feel uncomfortable with, you're teaching them a very valuable lesson. So please don't force your children to have physical contact with anyone they don't want to. Teach them that they have the control over their bodies. This goes for things like sitting on Santa's lap. Ask them if they would like to give Cousin Rose a hug. They say no, please respect that. Never force them to give up control of their body. Rose a hug. They say no, please respect that. Never force them to give up control of their body. And in your teaching, be very explicit about what unwanted touch is. Children, particularly elementary school children, are very concrete in their thinking. So when you teach them about unwanted touch, let them know, what you're talking about, touching any parts of their body. And also teach them the people who do not have the right to touch them without their permission. And for example, you say, nobody has the right to touch you without your consent. Not mom, not dad, not Aunt Mary. And when you list people that way, it imprints upon them, oh, wow, there are no exceptions to this rule. And that's the important thing you want kids to know. Another very important way to protect children is to teach them that adults and children should never have secrets, because sexual abuse thrives in secret. They don't do this in the open while you're sitting at the family dinner table. But what happens is that the abuser can induce your child by making secrets seem fun or making the child believe that they are special. And this is the way they start forming the basis to violate your child. So teach your child to tell you if any adult tries to have secrets with them. Even though the secrets may seem innocent, make it very clear that they are to tell you when any adult tells them, this is a secret just between you and me. Not a good thing. Sexual abuse has to occur in real time. And that means in order for bad things to happen, your abuser has to have access to your child. So you want to be very careful about whom you allow your child to spend time with. Make sure that you know the person. Make sure you feel comfortable with that person. I always think it's better if there's more than one adult in the house that you feel comfortable with. So be very careful about who you allow your child to spend time with, because sex abuse occurs in about 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys, and some professionals believe those numbers are actually low. So be very careful about who you allow to spend time with your child by themselves. And before your child is left alone with a child care provider, no matter who it is, make sure that that care provider knows that you have had the talk with your child, especially for a first-time child care provider. Be sure to tell the child in front of the care provider. Now remember, you will let me know if you feel unsafe in any way while I'm not here. And be sure to ask them if they feel unsafe or uncomfortable in any way. This idea came about when I was a big sister in the Big Sister, Big Brother program. And the social worker who made the match with my little sister and me said similar words. In fact, he was more explicit. He says, you understand that people are not to touch you or do things to you that make you feel uncomfortable, and you're going to let us know if that happens. I was so thrilled that this was said in front of me, in front of the parent. I think the parent was probably there, and the social worker was making it very clear what the parameters of the program were. So please take that idea and use it when you are leaving your children with a care provider. Parents, this is a tough topic, but I want you to try to stay relaxed when you're teaching these skills. If you are anxious and unsure, your child may not be willing to talk about any questions they have or situations in which they felt uncomfortable. So it's important for you to be relaxed but serious about these lessons. Make sure your child knows that they can talk to you about anything of concern. It is vitally important for parents and guardians to pay attention to the adults in their child's life, because abusers can be very cunning. They may groom the child by showing extra attention, always volunteering to watch the children when you are away. In fact, there was a video on YouTube in which a young woman talked about her uncle, who always volunteered to watch the kids if the adults wanted to do something. And of course, when the adults were away, he was sexually abusing this young lady. Now, not every person who does these things, who volunteers to watch the kids, has bad intentions. But if you feel uncomfortable, be sure to ask your child about their relationship with the person. Do you and John have secrets with each other? Does he ever do or say or show you things that you don't like? So pay attention to how you feel and monitor your child after they've been around that person. Have a private talk with them the first time, and periodically after the first time that they've been with that person, and periodically thereafter, ask them, how was it? Anything happen that you weren't happy with? What did you guys do? Just have a conversation. Don't just let the encounter happen without following up. You don't have to do it every single time, but particularly if you sense something may be wrong, make sure you do this. Parents and guardians, sometimes even with the best preparation, children sometimes forget what they've been taught or they get fooled. These perpetrators are, like I said earlier, very cunning. Please don't judge your child if something bad happens. It's never, ever the child's fault. It's always the responsibility of the perpetrator. So if something bad happens, it's really important for you to seek professional help as you and your child figure out how to get through this. Professional help could mean a therapist, it could mean a school counselor, it could mean the police. And here's the thing, if you don't get satisfaction or feel like you've been treated properly or that the professional has adequately addressed your concerns, you keep going until you find someone who can help you. Because not everybody who's in this field needs to be in this field. So don't judge if anything bad happens, and get the professional help you need in order to deal with it effectively and protect your child. Our children are indeed our future. You, as parents and guardians, have been given the awesome responsibility of preparing the next generation for the future. Helping them avoid being sexually abused is an important part of their health and well-being. And you are an integral part in making sure that these kids grow up strong, healthy, and happy. And parents, don't forget to take good care of yourselves. You're at your best when you feel confident, when you feel like you can do what you need to do to be the best parent, and when you're doing things that feed your soul. So don't forget to take good care of yourselves, be that relaxation, exercise, a massage. Do what you need to do to feel good about yourself so that you're up to the task, this very important task, because helping to protect our children is the most important thing that we as parents and guardians can do. Here are a number of resources that are available to parents and guardians should they desire more information and should they need the help of a trained professional. And these are advocates. These are advocates for children. So these are resources for you that exist all over the United States. So please take advantage, call them, ask them for assistance to give you more information. And also if something bad happens and you need support, this is a great place to start. There are also a couple of websites that I've listed. If you are from another country, because this does happen worldwide, not just in the United States, please contact your local government office of women, gender, or children. If your government does not have an office like that, there may be still a local advocacy group that you can contact for help, because they do exist all over the world. I want to thank you for your time in watching this video. Encourage you to, I know it's hard to ask you to like it because it's certainly not a great topic, but if you just like the information that was presented, if you'd like to comment, I invite you to do so and share it with people that you think might benefit from this information, which would actually be any parent or guardian that you know. And thank you for helping to protect our future.